The other Asian superpower, read not China, Japan, is making the rounds in Washington at this hour. Moments ago, Japan's economic minister arrived in D.C. for a meeting with U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer. He drove up in what else? A made-in-Japan Lexus. Japan is currently our fourth largest goods trading partner with $218 billion in total trade in 2018. Top imports for us? Vehicles, nuclear reactors, and electric machinery. Joining us now to discuss it all in a Fox Business exclusive for the sort of tax and implication when you talk about the actual retail industry is the COO of Retail Industry Leaders Association, Briah Dodge. You've got all the big retailers under your umbrella, and our viewers own the stocks in this. So tell us, what does this relationship mean? How important is it between the U.S. and Japan?
Well, I would say at the outset, fundamentally we are free traders, so the more that we can do to reduce barriers to trade around the world, irrespective of the country, the better off I think we are as an industry and ultimately for consumers as well. I think a lot of the focus on Japan presupposes that there's a resolution to the issues in China, which is really where the industry is focused primarily right now as we try to alleviate the burdens that American families have faced as a result of the tariffs that have been imposed on imports coming in from China.
We talk a lot about the Walmarts of the world getting hit hard by tariffs on Chinese goods coming into our country. Where would we feel that similar pain regarding Japanese equipment and Japanese materials coming into the U.S.?
So I think, there's obviously, this is a different sort of situation where we're trying to relieve barriers that exist already as opposed to relieving the barriers that have been implemented in the last year. It's tax day, so I think it's important to know that tariffs are taxes that American consumers pay. Over the last year, American consumers have paid upwards of $22 billion in added taxes on imports on Chinese imports. So I think it's important to sort of keep that in mind when you think about any trading relationship. The more that we can do to reduce those barriers, the better it is for customers. And frankly, it is for exporters as well, whether they're in the agriculture community or manufacturing community sending products abroad.
What happened to the old days in the 70s and 80s where Japan owned the camera market? Sony of your own, you had to have a Sony television set. Haven't they taken a back seat in that bread and butter electronics world that we had in the past?
I think it's the beauty of competition. As you make other markets accessible to U.S. businesses and consumers, it flows to where the best products can be manufactured. And so the global economy is an amazing thing, and we as free traders believe that we should be enabling access for importers and exporters to as many countries and as many markets as possible.
Not sure if the president agrees with you on free trade. I know a lot of people do sympathize, saying, tariffs are taxes. Even Larry Kudlow said that before he went to the White House. Good to see you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, and keep us posted, Brian.
Thank you for having me.
Briah Dodge.